Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Also, MemoryINKers. Many of you guys know me by that name. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to my page and it's having a little bit of a fit here. So, but I'm hoping to be able to chat with you guys. All right, cool. All right, so I hope you're all having a good Saturday. Please say hello. Tell me where you're from. As you guys know, every third Saturday I teach an in-person class at a store here in Farmington Hills called Life in the Craft Room. And after today's class, I decided I'm going to show you one of the cards that we made in that class today, because it was a very popular class, and the people really liked the project. So I thought, why not share with you guys? So I will be using the Plentiful Plants stamp set and its matching dies, Perfect Plants. Now I'm doing that because this used to come as a bundle, but it does not anymore because it's older. So you will find the stamps on page 163. They are $21. And then the dies. And if you didn't know, it does tell you, like here, coordinates with Perfect Plants dies, page 173. So you can always look for that. So here are the dies that coordinate with this set. And I wanted to point it out because this is, seriously, I love this set. I think it's really cool. And these are the kind of plants I can keep alive. Good morning, Linda. Yeah, it's snowing here too, but it's like that light fairy flowy, fluffy stuff. I don't know what to call it. It doesn't, oh my, I just saw my hands wiggling all over. I was told in class today that they think it's funny because I talk with my hands. I do. Anyway. So, but I wanted to show it to you guys because, as you know, we're getting a new catalog at sometime in April. Actually, I think the end of this month, we are going to hear about what is retiring, what colors are retiring in inks and cardstock, what stamp sets, what accessories, etc., are going to be gone. So I love this grouping, and I didn't want you guys to miss out on it, so I wanted to make sure I show it. So let me show you the cool dies before we get into the card. So here's the die that cuts out this. There is a die to cut out this. There is a die to cut out this. There is a die to cut out this. So these are pots, and this pot, and these leaves. Okay, so pot, leaves, pot. Well, that's actually a different pot. Pot, and then these little pots. And then this gets cut out, and this gets cut out. In fact, we're going to be using a few of these today to cut out. I pre-cut out, this is one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite dies. Look at this. Macrame. I don't know how to macrame, but it's back. I know macrame is back. So this is a good way for me to macrame. Just cut it out. And then I've also pre-cut out this pot now because I'm going to use it with the macrame. And then I'm going to stamp and cut out with these two dies. So I'm going to get those out so I can slide this stuff away. But anyway, it's such an amazing group that you might want it in your card base, because let's face it, a plant card can go guy or girl. Does not matter. We're also going to be using, obviously, these two stamps. We're going to use the thank you, you touched my heart. Is there something else? And these two pots. We're going to be using all of those on this card today. We're also going to be using Mossy Meadow ink and Pear Pizzazz ink. Pear Pizzazz has become a favorite of mine, and I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that these might go away. You know what? I'm so excited about new inks. I really am. I get so excited about them. But I hate when colors go away. Oh my golly, I get so upset. And then I get over it, you know. But as a customer, for you, you don't have to, like, get your reinkers, like, order them, like, now. Seriously, if you need reinkers, order them this week. Once that retiring list comes out, I'm telling you, those reinkers will be gone, sometimes within a day, hour, maybe even. So check your inks, pick your favorites. What do you need reinkers for? Get them. Maybe get two. I don't know. If you love them that much, get them. But anyway, but as a customer, you use your inks forever and ever. As a demonstrator, when they go, I'd almost never use them again, because this is my business after all, right? There's a few I've held on to, honestly, but yeah. So Pear Pizzazz, Mossy Meadow, and I don't have any insight. So if these two happen to retire, I did not know. I did not know anything about it. So just so you know. All right. Then we're going to use some Mossy Meadow cardstock for our base, which is cut 5.5 by 8.5. So it's an 8.5 sheet cut in half, right? And then a piece of Very Vanilla cut at 4 by 5.25. A piece of Designer Series paper. Now this was celebration paper, so we can't get it anymore, but we have other pretty printed, but I'm using it up. So this beautiful paper, and it is cut 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. No, wait, I lied. This is also 4 by 5.25. I was thinking of a different card we did today. Then I've got another piece of Mossy Meadow and Very Vanilla, and this one is, I had to write on the back so I wouldn't forget, 4 inches by 2.5, which makes this one 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, because they are going to be matted together. Okay. Then I just have a scrap of Very Vanilla. So let me get stamping, and we will go from there. I do need this. So, all right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp the things that need to be stamped. This piece is going to go on the inside of the card, and I'm going to start stamping with all of my Mossy Meadow stuff, because most of it is stamped in Mossy Meadow. So on this card, I'm going to take this one pot, all right, and I can never decide what's upside, and I think this might be the top. It is. Okay. So I want to make it straight. So I am going to set it on here, and I'm going to match it up with the grid line there. Basically, I can't see really great. And then I'm going to set it on the edge of this like that. Then I am going to stamp this off to the side at the bottom. And then I'm going to stamp it again over here. Then what I did for class was I actually put them together, but I forgot. So we're going to fake it. Then I'm going to take this pot and I'm going to stamp it right in the center. So now I've got my pretty 3 pots, and look at how pretty there's shadowing in there. That is not a bad stamp. That is the shadowing. So these things are nice and shadowed so that you don't have to worry about that. Then on the inside, I am stamping You Touched My Heart right up here, also in the Mossy Meadow. So this is going to go on the inside of my card. So I use my favorite liquid glue. I don't know what I'm going to do if this goes away. And it could. This is not a Stampin' Up! Product. I mean, we sell it, but it's not made by Stampin' Up!, so we just never know. And I've already pre-folded this, so I already know. So this is the inside of my card. Nice and fun, right? Okay. Then I'm going to take this Designer Series paper. This was celebration paper, so if you were lucky enough to get this celebration paper, wow. It is so pretty. I'm really bummed that we're not selling it, because like I said in class, I could have made a fortune just on this paper alone. I'm not kidding you. It's got so many beautiful things. Okay, so now we've got that done. Now on this piece, which will be matted onto here, I am going to just stamp thank you right at the bottom. Okay. And I am done with the mossy, oh, I'm not done with the mossy meadow. Hang on. Let me adhere this. Again, this piece is 4 inches by 2.5. Matted on 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. Again, mossy meadow. Don't you guys love, one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up!, and I realize we're not the only company that does this, but I love that my ink is perfectly matched to my cardstock, and Mossy Meadow is in this designer series paper, perfectly matched. I love that. So you can do a true, if you want to do complete, this is a fairly monochromatic card, but I mean, you can do true monochromatic with Stampin' Up! Because the colors are true. Now you're probably going, Carrie, aren't you popping that up? Why aren't you popping that up? Because that's my answer. Because I said so, that's why. Because we're going to be doing something that will be textural, and I didn't want it to be too poofy. Because sometimes, you know, you can get carried away. So now we are done. Oh, no, we're not. What is wrong with you, Carrie? Holy moly. I'm going to take this big leaf, and I am going to stamp it onto my scrap piece of Very Vanilla. Now I am done with the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to break out my Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to stamp this like, I don't know, berry-ish style leaves. They're not berries because they're green, unless they're green berries. I mean, that could be, right? So all of my stamping is done. So now I am going to take my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Congratulations to those of you who got this as part of your new demonstrator kit. It is an awesome, awesome, that was the best special ever. Best. So I'm going to try and do it here and see if it lets me. My plate is getting kind of warpy because I use this machine so much. So I'm going to set this on here, and then I am going to grab some positioning tape. Some like Post-it tape. And I'm going to just lay these on here, and they lay so pretty. So just take your time, get it to where it looks centered to you, and then hold it in place. If you're not picky, don't worry about holding it in place, but it does look better if it's cut correctly. Another piece of this. This is Post-it tape, in case you're wondering. You can use Post-it note, whatever. We even have some masking, you know, like masking out tape that you could use. So, and then of course you're just going to run it through your mini cut and emboss machine, which is available for purchase, of course, you guys know that. Along with, oh my, I'm like, why won't this shut? I was shutting my shirt into it. Along with the regular cut and emboss, of course, regular size. Okay. So now I have all of my pieces cut that I'm going to need, because remember I pre-cut these out. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to doctor this just a little bit, because I want my plants to be hanging outside of my basket here. Okay, so I'm going to set it on there, kind of wiggling a little. I'm going to zoom in, you guys. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in, and I want to be able to see the plant, but this is bugging me a little bit. So you kind of just play with it until you get it where you want it. To me, that doesn't look right. right? It looks like, wait, what's going on here? So I'm going to doctor this a little bit by simply hand cutting. You don't have to do this. You can cut a little slice. You can like leave it. Perfection is overrated, but sometimes I just like to have fun. So I did this slit, and I'm trying to get the little piece of cardstock out of there because I cut like a tiniest little bit out. There we go. It's out. So now I can put this one through here. If you guys are seeing that. And then that one through there. And then I kind of can get it a little bit more centered. A little bit. It still isn't perfect, right? It still isn't perfect. This is where you just play, because nobody is going to know what you're doing. They don't need to know, right? So I'm going to snip it right there. Just a little bit. So if you saw it right there, that's where I snipped it. So now I can decide how I want to do this. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to squeeze this over and there. Now, is it still lopsided? Yes, it is. But how many of your plants grow perfect? Yay for you if they do. Now, one of the things I want to do is I want to put this pot on the back. But I kind of want it to show that this plant is sort of in the pot. So I kind of want to do that. Does that make sense? So it looks like it's flowing outside the pot. So what I'm going to do is turn it over, grab my liquid adhesive, and I'm going to just put a little bit here, there, little dots, little tiny dots, where I think it's going to hold the pot. And then put your pot on there and line it up with these ends here. Then see how you can see the, it's really not where I want it to be yet. Okay, that's a little better. See how you can see still some of the green of the pot poking? That's what I wanted. I wanted to see that poking through. And you can play with it the way you want. And then this guy, you can have him poke through also. I like the idea of this leaf right here poking through. So in order to let that happen, and this is just me being a little bit persnickety, you certainly do not have to do this. Let's trim that a little because I got a little corner there. Okay, so now I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive right here, just right at the bottom there. And then I'm going to poke this leaf through that hole, like so. The rest of it will be in the back, but see how now I've got like a multi-dimensional kind of flowers. So now I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back. Why does that look not quite right? My pot's crooked, you guys. Can't have a crooked pot. So carefully move my pot. This is why I like liquid glue. You have a minute. Not a very long minute. Plus I only used dots, so that helped. And you can put this up on dimensionals, but I just feel like it's kind of fluffy as it is. So I'm just going to set that right there. And then somewhere I lost my bow. I lost it. And it's the teeny tiniest little bow. Oh, it was on my lap. Yay. So for class, I actually pre-tied these. I know. You need to, oh, down here, sorry. You need to love me for that because holy cow, that's tiny. Let me zoom back out so you guys can see more. I'm sorry. There we go. And then I just stuck it to a glue dot. So there's a glue dot on the back of that piece. And then it's going to go right there And there is my fun card for today. Now, I know I was being a little picky with this, but you don't have to. One of the girls who's a fairly new stamper, she just glued this one to the back and this one to the front, and it looked terrific. It looked great. So, you know, do what makes you happy when you're stamping. And I hope you are all staying warm today. Bundle up, because spring might be on Monday, but here in Michigan, I don't think it cares. So have a great and blessed week. Remember, I'm Carrie. I am your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. If you want to shop Stampin' Up!, go to my website, MemoryINKers.com. That'll take you right to my Stampin' Up! Store. You can email me at MemoryINKers@gmail.com. If you are going to place an order, especially inks, re-inkers, cardstock, get them now. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not trying to get sales. You know, I'm trying to get you to get what you need so you don't run out and you're not disappointed, because inevitably every year when this happens, somebody says, Carrie, I didn't get the re-inker for a blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know what to tell you. And although I do sell a lot of my retired colors, I sell them with the re-inker. I will not separate and give you my re-inker and then try to sell the ink pad. It's not going to happen. So just so you know that. Okay. If you do place an order, use this hostess code, please. N as in Nancy, 2. N as in Nancy, W as in Wayne, 9, 6, Y, 6. Sorry, it kind of got messed up a little bit. It's kind of a little fuzzy there. All right. And if you live near Farmington Hills, Michigan, sign up for my class. It's on the third Saturday at 10 o'clock, right in the little strip mall on the corner of 12 Mile Road and Farmington Road. Super easy to find. So I'd love to have you join in person. It would be so awesome. I love doing videos. I do. I love them. But in person is so much fun. We laugh. We have a great time. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future here on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, or in person, which would be great. Don't forget, I'd love it if you would share this video. Comment below if you have shared so you can be in a drawing. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye, everybody.